Whoa, another video about a video. A year ago today, I released Robots as Trans Allegory, as of recording this, my fourth most popular video. And funnily enough, I think the video that most people know me by, which is kind of silly, and we'll get to that. The last one that I did of these was for Why You're Fighting I'm So Gay, which I promise this is the last time I'll ever talk about that video. But that was more focused on like criticisms and like how I address that kind of stuff. This one is definitely going to be shorter because it didn't get as much criticism. We'll get to that in a sec though, and more so just like kind of cool suggestions. This was my other video that I really wanted to make a sequel to, but I didn't necessarily have any more to say at the time. And right now I still don't have enough to say to make a proper sequel, but I think this video has the best chance of getting a sequel at some point in the future. I don't know when that would be. So yeah, Robots' Trans Allegory. It's four different sections if I remember correctly. Yeah, four different sections that break down different allegorical uses for robots and how they can be applied to the trans experience. I think I said in the beginning, but I do also want to restate this because some people, I guess, didn't get it. Robots can be used as an allegory for a lot of different marginalized identities, and also they don't have to explicitly be about them to be able to still be allegories, you know? Like, I don't think, for example, like Jenny from My Life as a Teenage Robot was purposefully made to be a trans woman representation or anything like that, but you know, through personal experiences and I guess shared experiences, you can kind of project that identity onto her in a way. Thus, that's an allegory, even if it wasn't originally intended by the creator. That's how that show works. Sorry. A lot of the suggestions that I got had to do with my line. I believe it's at the end of discrimination. Yeah. At the end of the first section, where I make a joke about the lack of trans mask robots, and I show a conversation with me and my token trans guy friend Kay, who's actually been in like 5 different videos, where I ask him if he can think of any like trans guy robots or how that could apply, and he didn't say anything. But I did make the joke of Rodney from Robots and Wally from, fucking guess. I think the second or third highest comment is actually about my Wally comment. And it says, as a robot, there's no reason for Wally to have an inherent gender at all, and yet he gravitates to the male lead of an old musical, using him as a template for his own behavior. He sees masculinity from an outside perspective and decides, that's how I choose to be. I can see that as trans mask, or I can absolutely see that as trans mask. And like, that's a great interpretation. Oh my god. I didn't rewatch Wall-E for this. I was just going off of what I knew from when I was a kid. And yeah, absolutely. And I know people were debating like what other identities could be shared and the replies to that. So it was actually super cool. I really appreciated that comment. Another thing that a lot of people said was Metaton from Undertale. I believe that's his name. I don't know shit about Undertale. I'm gonna be so real. I'm sorry. I'm transgender and gay, but I don't know anything about Undertale or Deltarune. So I think it might be fun if I do finally get around to playing those games, then to make a sequel and include Metaton. And from my understanding of just being told this through the comments and just kind of looking at it myself, yeah, I could definitely see how he can be a representative of like a trans mask robot. Another thing that I saw was about Astro Boy, and at the time I didn't give a shit about Astro Boy, but I'm actually in a manga history like research class, and we've been talking a lot about Astro Boy and Tezuka, the author. And I think that kind of strengthens the argument, in my opinion, for Astro Boy being a trans mask robot. There's a comment I'm looking at right now. I don't know how high up it would be for y'all, but yeah, because I guess the plot of Astro Boy, to sum it up, a doctor, a scientist, makes Astro Boy to replace his dead son, but then Astro Boy doesn't have the human-like qualities and can't grow older like his son could, that he gets kicked out. And so Astro Boy has to find his own identity, build himself up using his found family. And yeah, I can definitely see how that works as an allegory there as well. Also, also Transformers. I didn't mention Transformers at all, which is kind of funny considering the subject matter. And I remember I was going to mention Transformers, but I know nothing about Transformers besides like the movies when I was a kid by Michael Bay. and I didn't even want to act like I knew anything about that. I do know now that there's a Cree, I think Cree is her name, and she's kind of like a trans character. Or maybe not even kind of. I think she did have her identity changed, if I remember correctly from just reading the wiki. And there's also the one from the kids show that is non-binary as well. I know that too. But that's pretty much my entire knowledge of Transformers. But yeah, a lot of people mention that, which I think could have slotted in there perfectly. Oh yeah, there's the fucking puppy girl joke that I made. I got clipped 3,000 fucking times. Not actually, but it did get clipped quite a bit. A lot of people really liked that joke. I'm never making that joke again, I'm sorry. I actually made that joke again in a different video, I think. Some people were kind of getting on me for, I guess, using the word robot interchangeably with, I don't know, like replicant or cyborg and stuff. And yeah, I was gonna say something about that, about how I'm using robot as a more general term. But I don't think it mattered too much. I think the only case that it could have mattered a little bit was with Major Kusanagi from Ghost in the Shell, but we'll talk about that in one sec. I guess the last thing I'll say from the comments directly was somebody pointing out, let me see here, about how all of this whole video really also could have been a allegory for like autism and neurodiversity. And yeah, you're absolutely right. I actually kept coming across that while researching for the video. But as I reply to that comment, I'm not well versed enough in that kind of stuff, despite being on that spectrum, to comfortably talk about it. And I should have had an offhand and mentioned for sure, but as I said in the reply to that comment, one of the articles in the description actually goes on about that. So hell yeah. Oh yeah, the fucking animatrix. I forgot about this. A teacher actually, or a professor actually mentioned this in a class the other day. I talked about the animatrix, and I'm like, no way, I know that. But yeah, that scene from the Animatrix where the woman is getting torn limb from limb for being discovered to be a robot, even though she passed as a human, is fucking terrifying. And though I couldn't find any sources like saying that that was a direct allegory, I think out of anything in the video, that is the most, that has the strongest case for being a trans allegory. I mean, it was co-written by the Wachowski sisters, so that's, you know, obviously part of it. But I think that's just like a direct showcase of how robots can be used in this way. Even ignoring like the whole weren't written with that purpose. You can write them with that purpose. I think that's pretty obvious there. I do want to talk about two more things about this video, and then I'll stop rambling, I guess, which is the controversy that arises from this video, and also why I like it a lot, which is really funny. Okay, if you don't know, someone made a tweet about this video, just posting the thumbnail with the caption like, "I'm never gonna watch this shit." And even though they had only like 200 subs, that post got like 25,000 likes. And oh my god, I got terrible shit. I got death threats for a while. The comments were terrible. People were just harassing me everywhere. It was the worst, and it was all because they posted the thumbnail and hadn't actually watched the video. And what's funny is if you actually went into that comment section, which I didn't recommend anyone do, but I did, with people actually defending me, even though they didn't like me. they're like, well, you should actually like watch the video. He says in the first whatever part, and it's like, oh wow, they actually watched the video, and although they're still being mean and misgendering me, at least they understand. Yeah, a lot of anime nerds got really mad at me for using Kusanagi in the thumbnail, and calling her a robot, even though she's technically not a robot. But I don't care. She was a cool example from a movie I like a lot, so I used her, and I think that she has a pretty strong case for having the trans allegory elements. But yeah, I got canceled on Twitter for that one, and then some guy ended up running ads on me on Twitter about how terrible of a person I was, and it was so funny. I saw this ad. Someone else posted a screenshot of this ad and sent it to me, and all the replies were like, bro, why are you paying money to hate on this person? It was kind of funny. Oh yeah, and I guess the whole 25,000 likes hate tweet thing did have a happy ending because Juno at Do Enjoyer, who I interviewed quote unquote for this video, made a tweet about it and then got 50,000 likes, and that guy got banned off twitter.com, and I ended up getting a lot of support on this video. So I guess it ended up fine in the end, but that was still a really it was like 2 whole days. It was just terrible. People were posting photos of guns and tagging me, and it's like, what did I do, man? But you know, at the end of the day, I still do like this video a lot. It's the video that I use to, I guess, sell myself, quote unquote. If you go to my home tab, it's the video that I promote to people who haven't seen my videos yet. I don't know if you knew that you could, like, on your homepage, okay, you go to your homepage, people who have subscribed to you get a different video than the people who haven't subscribed to you. And to the people who haven't subscribed, I always recommend Robots as Trans Allegory. It's also my pinned tweet, usually. Usually I pin whatever video is newest, but whenever I don't upload for a month or two, I just put Robots as Trans Allegory back because I think it does a really good job of highlighting what I do. In hindsight, I don't like how I edited it in parts, and it's just kind of, it's not my best editing, but I think it was pretty cool. I'm happy with it. It's actually getting taught in my college curriculum now. I was in this class, a teaching class. I'm doing teaching and education, and the professor also happened to teach the honor sci-fi writing class. And I was talking to her after class. She's also the vice dean of the School of Education at my school. Anyways, I was talking to her after class about using robots as an allegorical device. And I go, hey, I actually made a video about this. Do you want to see? And she goes, yeah, sure. And so I sent it to her, and she goes, wow, I love this. Can I show the other people in my department about this? And I go, yeah, sure. And then she hits me up a few days later, and she goes, hey, they all really liked it too. Can I use this as like material for my class? And I was like, yeah, sure. And so now I have to imagine, like, I don't know, 30 people at least taking this honor sci-fi class, listening to me make a puppy girl joke, and that does make me die on the inside a little bit, but it's still kind of cool regardless. Yeah, and to this day, I still get recognized as the robot girl, the one that made that video, which it's fun. I love it. I love that that's what I'm known as, I guess, even though it's my 4th most popular video. It has some of the most comments out of any of my videos as well. People really talked about this one, and that makes me really happy. I'm really glad that I got a lot of people thinking about this. I got a lot of people also telling me that they used this video in their own research papers, or they cited it for a school project, and I'm glad. I love that kind of stuff. That's what I really want to encourage, is more creativity. So yeah, it was a fun video. I might make a sequel. I don't know. Also the weaponized purpose, the last bit about Igus from the best game of all time, Persona 3. I like that one quite a bit. I think that's probably my favorite one that I have in this video. I think that was the one that I got the most people saying that they didn't think about. And so, you know what? Once again, glad that I got them thinking. Yeah, that's like literally all I have to say. But Robots as Trans Allegory is a really special video to me. It kind of, as I said, is what I use to promote myself, and it's kind of how I kind of laid the groundwork for how I wanted to make these videos, because that was in November of last year, and since then I always use it as a reference for when I'm unsure what to do. I look back at Robots as Trans Allegory and think, what did I do to make this successful? And the answer, I don't fucking know. YouTube is like gambling, and you always lose. Anyways, if you enjoyed that video or this one, I really appreciate it. And I'm gonna keep fucking throwing myself at a wall until it works. So I encourage you to use that mindset as well.